I genuinely believe ECL's burial is being used to distract the masses and the opposition. Let's get into it. Please be advised that everything that I will say in this video is based on my perspective of what is happening in our country. So take it as a point of view or as an opinion from me, as I do not have any facts to back up my theory. Let's get into it. The Daily Nation newspaper says, ECL burial now in August? Unless President Hichilema assures the family that he will stay away from the funeral, the burial of former President Edgar Lungu could take place in August after the High Court in Pretoria decides whether the former president should be buried in Zambia or South Africa. But this does not explain my theory of why I believe ECL's burial is being used to distract the public and the opposition. Let's get into this one. My theory starts from here. State moves to block ECL burial. Why did they do so? I mean, look at it this way. President Hakainde Hichilema a few days ago cancelled the national mourning and said, we cannot mourn forever, right? And then basically he pulled back, acting like he will not be pursuing this issue anymore. He also went further, saying the doors to the government or the state will be open for the family to come in for negotiations, only for him to turn around and then block the burial, which has now further prolonged the mourning, right? We were supposed to bury ECL yesterday. Now we don't even know when. It might be in August. So why did they pull this stunt? Well, here's why I think. To distract us from the inevitable death of Bill 7. Do you remember how the death of Bill 7 movement was growing stronger and stronger prior to ECL's death? And when ECL passed on, we stopped talking about Bill 7, right? We were too busy talking about the death of our former head of state, which is natural. And then when we were getting close to the burial, we were supposed to get back to Bill 7. And they noticed, oh my goodness, this Bill 7 will get attention again. So what do? They move in to prolong the burial, take it to court so that they can be this push and pull. Whilst they quietly tabled Bill 7 in Parliament yesterday. Yes, Bill 7 was tabled in Parliament by Justice Minister Honorable Kasune, right? They have put it in Parliament, Bill 7, without informing anyone, without telling anyone. It was very quiet. So whilst we are out here mourning and complaining about the prolonged burial of ECL, they are moving in on Bill 7. So why are they trying so hard to make sure Bill 7 passes to a point that they'll even use the distraction that the public has to move in? Well, here's why. Here's why. Parley split. UPND opposition MPs express concerns over Bill 7. You see, word has gone out that there's a growing number of UPND members of parliament that have expressed concerns over Bill 7 and that are likely to even vote against it next month. And that scares President Hakainde Hichilema and the UPND administration. So what is he to do in order for the Bill 7 to pass? Well, distract the public. Let the public not know that Naba UPND there are factions that are disagreeing with the Bill 7. So how does it do that? Well, pull out the biggest news, the one that is stealing all headlines in Zambia. What is that? ECL's burial. I believe between now and the 18th of July, when the court said the judgment will happen whether ECL will be buried in South Africa or Zambia, between now and the 18th, I guarantee you, ECL's story or ECL's burial will be coming up and down just like that, to a point that we won't even be focusing on Bill 7 or any other news because we'll all be eager. It will be like a movie. Whilst they swoop in to try and convince the UPND members of parliament that are very reluctant in voting for this bill. The timing is what is making me think like this is a distraction. Because by the time ilefika July 18th, Nishimama members of parliament who are in doubt, they may have already spoken to them without us knowing, because we'll be too distracted. And before you know it, elotatula sala pukapaku, Bill 7 yapita by the 25th of July. Because 25th of July is when they'll be voting. And then they are now telling us that August is when ECL might be buried. That's where my theory is coming from. But at the end of the day, it's just a theory. You let me know in the comment section. Do you think my theory is on point? Or is there just something else?